All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. The rise of lonely single men. Is there any validity to it? Are single men lonely? Are single men dating opportunities getting smaller and smaller? Are the dating opportunities going out the window as healthy relationship standards change? That's what we are going to talk about today. Hello, everybody. I'm your man, KTJ, love coach of Atlanta, and here to just share love all over the world. And so I want to hear from you guys. I want y'all to chime in, pop in, and let me know what you think. Let me know what y'all think about this article. Let me know what you think about this article. Let's get back to it. We're going to just get into it and just roll right along with it. All right. So this article is going around and it's in social media. A lot of people are talking about it. And this guy, Greg Matos, PsyD, wrote this article talking about the rise of lonely single men. Says dating apps and a drastic changing relationship landscape. So this article is all over, y'all. People are talking about it. People are having conversations about it. And it's really like, here's the premise of it. And I'm glad they got the key points. Here's the 3 key points that this guy talks about in the article. He says dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as healthy relationship standards change. He says men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances of matching. And the third key point is men need to address skills deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations. So let's talk about this for a minute. This article was based on this. Check this out. He says, over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of that growing group of long-term single people. And while you don't actually need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. Now, that is a statement as if it is true. Where did you get that? Now, I've heard some people say statistics said that people in relationships and married men live longer. They might, that could be true, and are happier. Now, how do you measure happiness? How do you measure happiness? How do you measure who's happy, who's not happy? Okay. So, but he's saying that there's a growing group of long-term single people, that men are joining that group of long-term single people who are unhappy. Now, here's where he gets the evidence from. He says, here are 3 broad trends in the relationships landscape that suggest heterosexual men are in for a rough road ahead. Dating apps. In here, he says 62% of users are men, and many women are overwhelmed with how many options they have. Competition on online dating is fierce, and lucky in-person chance encounters with dreamy partners are rarer than ever. Let me stop right there. Let me stop right there and tell you this. You can't measure this whole thing, measure a man's happiness based on dating apps. Why? Because most single men are not even on dating apps. Do y'all understand that? Look, and I want to put a pin in that for a minute, because one of the reasons I felt compelled to do this show is because the minute something sounds like an amen point for some women, you just go for it. You just like, hallelujah. I'm glad somebody said it. And I'm going to get down to the point where people said the hallelujah, but they skipped this part, right? And I'm telling you, be careful of people who are saying the thing that you want to hear to make you feel good. Because this is bull. Because listen, and I'll tell you why I believe this is bull. If you're going to say that 62% of men, of users of dating apps are men, right? And that is the basis for you saying that they are lonely because they're all on the dating apps because they outnumber the women on the dating apps. No, it doesn't say what their what their what their situation is. Are they married? Because there's married men on dating apps. I don't know if y'all know that. Are they in a relationship? Because there are men in relationships on dating apps. And then there's men who are just plain single, right? But you can't measure that and put that in the article. All right. So this is something that you have to consider, not to mention the fact that in today's time, look, they said like 80% of people who are engaging in dating and finding love are doing it online. Are doing it by dating apps. They're doing it by the dating apps. So how can you say that the dating apps, by virtue of men being in a higher percentage on the dating apps, that automatically means that they're lonely, right? Because if you're either you believe that dating app activity equals loneliness, or it does not equal loneliness. Either dating app activity equals loneliness or it doesn't. You can't go both ways. Right? And because dating apps are the way people are meeting today. Period. Once upon a time, you were weird if you were on dating apps. Right? You were lonely if you were on dating apps. But today, it's just a normal thing. It's more than normal. It's the way it goes. Nick Lawson said, dating apps are terrible. What happened to people meeting on accident? Well, well, you know what? I don't think that they're terrible. I don't think that they're terrible. I like dating apps, right? Listen, your great grandpa, your grandma. Let's start with your grandma and your grandpa. Your grandma and grandpa met because they lived in the same little village, lived in the same little town, probably walked a mile uphill to the elementary school, right? And they married the person who was in proximity to them. Well, now there is no border on proximity. You can marry anybody. You can, right? You can meet somebody who's your ideal person who lives on the other side of the world, or you can meet them who they live on the next town over. They could live in the next couple blocks over and you just never met them. So that's the advantage of dating apps. Okay. All right. Kamisha said, I don't understand your logic. I met men online and in person, but I vet them first. That's fine. That's fine. So you don't understand my logic. My logic is this. This gentleman made this article and based this idea that men are lonely because they dominate dating apps 62%. This is the basis by which he says that men are lonely. And I'm telling you, that doesn't mean that men are lonely. It just means men have found a space where it's easier to find women, and that's where they are. Right? But if you don't think, you gotta use your mind when you see these things go out and go viral. This article went viral. Yes. Look, this article went viral without people just kind of thinking about what are you actually saying? So you're saying that everybody that's on a dating app is lonely, or are you just saying it because it's men and it's going to trigger women to hit that share button? Let's move on to my man's second point. His second point was relationship standards. This is what the women liked. With so many options, he says, it's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. He says they do a TikTok talk and they hear reoccurring dating themes from women between 25 to 45. They prefer men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values, right? That's fine. What does that have to do with men being lonely? Hey, Coffee Bean. Look, what does that have to do with men being lonely? Yes, with so many options, yes. It's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. Women are selective. Yes. Duh. That's not rocket science. Okay? Italiana's in the building. What's happening, lady? Miami Queen. Look. So let me jump to the person's this gentleman's third argument here on the rise of lonely single men. I guess that these things are supposed to be something that he's trying to, I guess, support men in being more of, right? So skill set deficit. He says for men, this means relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, will likely lead to fewer dating options. I have to stop him right there, y'all. I gotta stop you right there, my man. What you're saying is that men need to increase their communication skills and to do all these things, or they won't be able to get women. I'm telling you that men will always be able to get women. Now, I think that here's why I'll agree with the guy. I do think that men should increase their ability to communicate with women. Right? I do think that men should be able to be more just connect emotionally with women, right? And to be able to like raise their skills of communication. I'm all with that. But don't tell me that that's going to be the thing that creates fewer dating opportunities for men. It's not true. It's not true. It's simply not true. Because there are always, listen, and I hate to say it, especially for the people of certain of our melanated communities, right? People of our melanated communities, every time you watch the news and you see the brother man going behind bars, that's one less opportunity for a husband. Hate to say it, but it's one less opportunity for a husband. And so that is a problem. Now, so that for us is something that we have to address, right? And I don't have a problem addressing men on what they do and the way that they move and what's happening to our landscape for partnering. I don't mind having that conversation at all. But for today, I want to like highlight the fact that I agree, right, that women should keep their standards high. I believe that women should keep their standards high. I believe that men should rise to their highest ability, right? But that's got nothing to do with women. I believe that a man should make himself work on himself. I believe that a man should work on his communication. I believe that a man should get more emotionally intelligent, being able to apologize when you're wrong, being able to keep your word, being able to be kind of direct the interaction, leading in the relationship, right? All those things. I believe all of those things are things that men should absolutely work on, right? But don't form a whole argument that around all of this and this being kind of the decline of the possibilities of love for men. Men will always have a possibility of love. Women will always have a possibility of love. There's always a look. I don't get. Listen, I was driving down the street the other day and I saw this guy. I saw this guy out holding a sign that said, hungry, please give me some food. This guy had a sign out said, hungry, please give me some food. And while he's standing out there with his sign in his hand, I see a woman cross the street and she came up behind him while he's holding the sign saying, I'm hungry, give me some food. And she literally leaned on his back while he's standing out there with the give me some food sign. And I said, look at this. This man has nothing. This man literally has nothing. He's out begging for food, and there's a woman behind him. He doesn't have a place to live of any kind of worth. Not that I know of, right? Because what do I know? My man could be just playing all of us. But he was out there in the street and he had a woman. Now, do we want to argue what quality of woman she was? I don't really want to do that because I don't really know that lady. And I wasn't sticking around to see what kind of activity she was, what she had for sale. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't sticking around to find out, the details of her services because I wasn't interested. But I did take notice that it really does not matter the condition that a man is in. Man can always find a woman, right? So I want to, instead of just kind of going with this thing and rooting for men need to do this and men need to do that, right? And people often ask me like, well, whose side you on? I'm on everybody's side. I'm on the men's side and I'm on the women's side, right? Because I'm on the side of love. I'm on the side of creating an amazing life and going up together with your ideal mate. That's whose side I'm on. I'm on the side of progress, on the side of commitment, connection, and growth. That's whose side I'm on. So I want to encourage you. I'll listen. This is for the ladies. I want to encourage you to keep working on yourself. Whatever issues you had, whatever happened to you in the past, work through it. Whatever you dealt with in the past, I want you to understand that was the past. And behold, all things have become new. That was the past, right? Don't let the next person have to deal with the stuff from the last person. Just understand, listen, life happened. It wasn't pretty, but it happened. And I'm going to let it go. Right? I'm going to let it go. It happened. The last relationship, it didn't work out. But you know what? You grew from it. It wasn't all bad times. It was some good times. It was some good things that happened. But it was what it was. And it ended. It was what it was. And it's over. But tomorrow is a new day. So, ladies, keep your standards high. I got a little video clip where I talk about it. I said an old man once told me, young man, you can find a woman anytime you want. If you want to live in the gutter, you can find a woman. A woman will join you in the gutter. But if you want to ascend to higher things, you get on your purpose, get on your intention for being here, and you choose a woman up there, and life would be a lot better for you. Fellas, that's for you. Guys, I don't know who I'm talking to, but there is an amazing woman who's waiting at the top for you. Don't select the woman who stands behind you while you're holding a sign that says, "Feed me. I'm hungry. Please give me something for nothing." I could talk like this because I actually used to work with the homeless. I used to be a men's counselor for homeless at a homeless shelter. So I understand the idea. Yes, they are on the hustle, but they hustling backwards. And they'll be back there tomorrow. And they'll be back there the next day. And they'll be back there the next day. So fellas, I'm telling you, get on your purpose. Guys, get on the intention for you to be here. You could have been born anything at any time, but you were born a man, the male species of the highest life form on earth, and you're the male species. Do you understand what a blessing that is? How amazing that is to be born the male species of the highest life form on earth. Sheesh, what else would you want to be? So then you owe it to yourself to maximize these opportunities that you have to build your life. These are your opportunities to build your life, to lift your life, to become more, to have more. You deserve to have more. Wake up in the morning ready to go. Maybe tonight, work on your plan. Decide to stop falling for the nonsense, falling for the tricks. Every time I hear a guy bragging about selling dope, I think to myself, what a dope. Every time I hear guys bragging about selling weed and selling drugs, and I think to myself, what a loser. You're going to sacrifice your whole existence for a few dollars when you can use your mind. When you can use your mind, there's somebody making that money laying in bed, turning over. And you're out trying to, and you're bragging about getting tricked because you got a few dollars in your pocket. Meanwhile, you risk your future, and guess what? You're more likely to lose than you are to win. You're more likely to lose. Do you understand that you're more likely to lose than you are to win? So get it together. Listen, I don't care what this guy said in this article. I don't care what that guy had to say in that article. I'm telling you that for one thing, we're not just going to be going for the okie doke just because somebody said it. But the fact is that men need to retool for themselves, not for women. Men need to get better for themselves, not for women. And trust me, when I tell you that the single men that I know are not lonely at all. Most of the single men that I know got too much going on and have to have a hard time staying focused. Right. But the point is that this is your life. This is your moment. This is your moment. And I'm telling you, there is more in you than you present here. There's more. There's more. There's more. There's more. Listen, we don't even have a lot of people here watching, but guess what? The people who are here for a reason. The people who wandered over to this channel at this moment, this is for you, right? Keep your standards high and keep going higher. Keep your standards high and keep going higher. No, men are not lonely. Yeah, a guy might have a lonely moment, but being on a dating app does not mean that a man is lonely. I don't know I don't know how the guy came up with that. But I will agree that our men need to work on ourselves, not for women, but for us. We need to work on ourselves, not for women. We don't need to do what we do for women. We need to do what we do for us. And women will be the byproduct. Women come. Women are smart. They see a winner when they see one. They know a winner when they see one. They know a rising star when they see one. And they know how to connect on to somebody who's going somewhere, who's doing something. Especially if she's a woman who's doing something herself. She don't want to be with no slacker. You don't have anything you working on? No. Should be always working on something, building something, creating something. Something that you can live with and enjoy. So, all right, y'all, that's it for the night. I appreciate y'all coming through. I appreciate all the messages that came through. Appreciate all the roses that y'all sent over there. And we'll be back another time. You guys stay tuned. Check out the next video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.